Back to Deeper Conversations. I won't keep you. This is part 2 of our first date conversation with me, my high school best friend Irina, as well as my sister Faith. So enjoy. Um, okay, now I have a fun, and we're just gonna do this rapid fire. What are fun slash, and this one's more important, lead on questions? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go with, and we'll just go in a circle. I'll go me, Faith, Irina, and then we'll come back. Where are you from? And you can give like a one center if you want. Where are you from leads to other questions. Then you can ask about the area, ask if that's where their family lives, and it can continue the conversation. Faith, you're next. Go.
What's your favorite type of food? Like Italian, Mexican?
Okay. Irina?
Fuck, marry, kill. And you can do that with multiple different things. And this is a fun question to ask. It's a fun.
You know what? I was gonna say maybe wait
I actually
after
had someone ask me this recently, and
that's
it was
a good icebreaker.
Guacamole, salsa, and queso.
Oh, I would pop.
It's such a fun question to ask. And I'm not saying like specific people. I'm saying like.
No, I'm sorry, but if somebody asks me that as the very first question on a very first date, we're going on a fucking second date.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay,
like,
granted, wait, okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck guacamole, marry queso.
What?
Salsa.
No, for me, it's kill queso, fuck salsa, and marry guac. I just love guac. I would marry guac.
Oh, I hate guac.
I love salsa. I love salsa and guac, but
Listen, you take your extra money to the extra guac at Chipotle. I'll be fine with my fucking salsa over here. Faith, do you have an opinion? Faith's a very picky eater.
I mean, marry salsa and kill the other two.
Faith doesn't even like cheese. Okay, my next one. Okay, you guys, you're gonna be blown away by this question. And I'm gonna actually go two, and we've already said them. What is your we haven't. We've said one. What is your favorite color? And what is your favorite dinosaur? Now, I've thought a lot about these two questions, and somebody always has shit to say about both. Like, my favorite color is red. I look incredible in red, but I also am obsessed with dusty blue. Everything about it, from outfits to, the color of a room, it gets people talking. What is your favorite dinosaur? I like that question for two reasons. One, if they have a favorite dinosaur, it's fun to just know. Two, this is when you get to know whether they're a good communicator or not.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they're going to say, I don't know, walk the fuck out. If somebody says, what is your favorite dinosaur? And they say, I don't know, walk out. If they say a fake answer, you've got a good ass person next to you. Or even better yet, if somebody says, what is your favorite dinosaur? And your response is, this gets me tingling. If somebody ever responds to this, I'm gonna and somebody says, I've actually never thought about that question. Let me get back to you. Or something in that general zone.
Yeah. Something like I'm not
fuck.
Sure.
Because they've never thought about it, but now they're interested. And then you can talk about your favorite dinosaur and you can kind of get them thinking, and you can be like, mine's a fucking triceratops. I love the way that they fucking look like a fucking, bowl with literally Dorito chips sticking out of it. I love the fact that they're fucking round and have triangles just killing it. I love their little two horns in the front. My favorite, and then it leads the question. My favorite animal of all time is an elephant. They also happen to have two trunks on the front as well. I don't know why that's a commonality between my favorite animal and my favorite dinosaur, but here we are. And then by that time, maybe they can come up with an answer, or they can get back to you. Or maybe, even something sexier. They remember that question. You guys have a great time on your first date. You go on a second date, and the very first thing that they say to you is just so out of the blue and random. And they're like, fucking a stegosaurus. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? And you were like, and then they're like, I told you I'd get back to you. Here we are. That's hot. When they remember a question, they get back to you. They did their fucking research, and then they're going to tell you why they like a stegosaurus. That shit is hot. Never say I don't know to a question. Say something mature. Say something that makes you a good ass communicator. Get back to that question. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow their mind. You're gonna feel like the sexiest person in the world. Seriously, the things that you say are incredible. Okay, Faith, you're next. I want to do a couple more.
What's your favorite place in the world? Because I feel like there might be a memory attached to it, like a good like childhood memory, and maybe that's a good way to open up. And maybe you have a common favorite place, or you've been to that favorite place, or maybe in the future you come back and you're like, maybe we should go to that favorite place for a day.
Yeah, it's in the same realm as if you could be anywhere else in the world right now, where would it be? You know.
Oh my God, that's what my thing was.
Really? Okay, do you have another one?
No, I was gonna say that because it's like along with what you said, Faith, about the like finding that childhood memory or like a place that someone feels really special and connected to. Like even with traveling, like if you could go anywhere in the place right now, like where would you go? Or like if you could travel anywhere, where would you go? It's like sort of a very similar thing, but it is different because like oftentimes when people ask those questions, they've actually never been to that place before. But it tells like a lot about the person, and it gets an idea of because you can ask why, and oftentimes someone has a reason behind why they want to travel there, and that gives you a good idea of who they are and what they're thinking and how their mind processes a little bit.
Before I give you the ultimate
for your childhood like place or whatever you like
before I give you the ultimate lead on question, I'm gonna just give you another kind of a thing to go along with. Any story that's tell me a story about a time when. Perfect. Solid. Tell me a story about a time that you almost died. Tell me a story about the time you felt the most scared. Tell me a story about the time
all good
you were the most proud of yourself. I love that question. Get them talking about themselves. And again, hopefully they'll bring it back and hopefully you can kind of tell them the story that you were most proud of. And if it doesn't come back to you again, you can walk the fuck out. So the most lead on question, and I'm going to go back to number one of what I said because I want to talk about this more. Where you are from is the most important question you can say. And I'll tell you why. When somebody asks me where I'm from, my answer forever and always will be, I'm from here and then everywhere else. I've lived in 6 different states and people are like, but where'd you grow up? And then I'm like, okay, I can't answer that. However, the only reason I can't answer that is because the growing up stage, I grew up in like 3 different states. Then it gets you talking. And then again, that brings you to, okay, I ask you where you're from and you say, Texas. Okay. You say Texas. And I'm like, is that where your family lives? No, my family lives in Georgia. All of your family? No, actually, I have a brother in there. And then you can go, well, how many siblings do you have? And then you can get talking about that. And even, and ask the fun questions. And you can even also get deep if that's what you want as well. And I don't classify what is your favorite dinosaur as small talk. Again, it brings you to good communication, which is a bigger topic. But even can
I add real quickly?
Please.
I want to add, asking where you are from is very different from asking where are you actually from.
Yes. Well, and then that's when they can, and you can even get to that part in that question, like, where are you from? And then they're like,
and there's a way to ask it without it coming back onto something.
If I asked Irina where she was from, she might say Russia, and then I could
say Charlottesville, but I was born in Russia.
Yes. And she can play with her answer a little bit, and then I can be like, okay, cool. When did you move from Russia to America? She can say when she was 4, and then I can say, that's awesome. Who are your parents? Like, are and never be afraid to be intimate and get to those scary topics of like, even if it's, are you an only child? And they're like, yeah, I actually am. And you can be like, well, what's that experience like? And say it in an appropriate way, because there are some questions like, well, what was that experience like? Like, don't act like it was, it was a bad traumatic experience for them to be an only child. They could have had a cool ass experience being an only child. And then they could be like, I was spoiled fucking rotten. It was just me and I'm partying it the fuck up. You know what I mean? But it's so, that question goes so many different directions. So where are you from is probably the most important question. And to those listeners out there, if somebody asks you that first, like Irina said, plan your answer. And like I can bring a little mystery to the game where I'm like, I'm from here and then everywhere else. And they're like, what the fuck? And again, all of the answers and responses are so important, equally as important, because I've had someone where it's like, where are you from? And I tell them I'm from here and then everywhere else. And someone else is like, that doesn't answer my fucking question. And I'm like, first of all, hold your passive aggressiveness. Second of all, if you can't continue the fucking mystery of where you're from, and I'm like, I'm from here and then everywhere else, and your response to that is, that doesn't fucking answer my question. A, it answered your fucking question. And B, you're just too tired to keep continuing this conversation, and you can't communicate well because I just gave you a plethora of questions. So yeah. Is there anything else in particular you guys want to ask or say before we do this one last test?
I do have like one question that bothers me, and I've gotten it a lot. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the way I look.
Grab some water, but please.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. But I get this question, and I don't know where it comes from because it always comes from out of the blue, and it makes me uncomfortable every single time because most of the time I have never met these people before, and the one time I got it, I got it at work. We were working in front of guests, and he asked me this question. I was appalled. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you a virgin? Are we getting into bed tonight? Are you taking me back to your house? Is that what's happening right now? You don't need to know that until we progress further and I want to open up to you. But like, I'm telling you, when he, like, I don't want to like point anybody out if they ever do see it because it's not a coworker that I currently work with at my work location. It was from a previous work location. But it made me so uncomfortable that a coworker that I had no interest in, it didn't seem like he had any interest in me, would just come up and be like, hey, can I ask you a personal question? I'm like, sure, I guess, thinking he's going to ask me like where I'm from or like, you know, not the most drastic question ever. So out of the blue, I was like, I don't need this right now. This is so
I'm gonna interject.
And I actually had a similar situation with that too. Like I had a coworker who made the assumption that I was a virgin. He said, "You look like a virgin," and I'm like, "No, I've actually had sex."
Okay, so. I'm gonna interject.
But it's like at that point, it's like again, you should first of all never make that assumption, and then second of all, that is a very inappropriate question to ask. Not just on a first date, not just on a second date, not just on a third date, but at work.
Listen, you have to have power and confidence going into these things. It is a very inappropriate question. It should never be said. It is going to probably happen, okay? If it happens, your only response to this fucking question.
Oh, tell us. I want to know.
Please ask me said question.
Are you a virgin?
What's your sex count? Should be your only response. I don't care if their number is 1. I don't care if it's 1,000. Whatever their response is, as soon as they respond, your face is going to look absolutely disgusted. And if they say any number higher than 1, then tell them that you are only also looking for other virgins to have sexual relations with. If their number is not.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You gotta play along with it. What Matthew is saying is actually really important. Like if someone asks you an inappropriate question like that, you either play along with it and like just feed into it until they like back down. They're like, oh fuck, or you like really just look disgusted and
be confident, be power strong, be enough.
It's all about being confident.
If somebody asks you a gross question and this is predatorial. And I just saw this
because
question
it's also sexual harassment.
well, not
When
that.
they
I'm gonna.
ask you that
I mean,
stuff, that's
that is for sure. But if this is a predatorial question, and again, it can happen to anyone. It can happen from a woman's mouth to a man. There are women serial
true.
killers, not as prominent as male serial killers, but there are women serial killers out there. Anyways, that's besides the point. If a man looks at, if we're just gonna say it's a man, because come on, if a man looks at a woman and goes and says, "Does anybody know that you're here?" That is that is predatorial. It's disgusting.
Always say yes, first of all.
Well, and then you should 1,000% just walk out and fucking leave. Don't even answer the fucking question. Power your ass out. Strut out of that restaurant. Strut out of that movie theater. I don't fucking care where you are. Strut the fuck out and do it with confidence. However, also, your only response to the question will, like Irina said, should always be yes.
Yeah,
But
you
then
should
just
always say
start
yes, 'cause
going down the list.
That's a matter of safety right
You
there.
need to, when people ask you crazy, insane, inappropriate, predatorial questions, you need to turn on the crazy. You need to fucking then, if someone's like, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you're about to see what I'm about to do. Ask me that question, Irina.
Sorry, which particular one?
The second
Are
one.
you does anyone know you're, is that the
Yes,
question?
yep.
Does anyone know you're here?
Call Faith. And then it's just gonna fucking like
Just strut out.
Just
Do
start.
it.
No. Just start calling people in front of the person that asks you that. And be like, hey, this predator, and then just, and you know what, even fucking scream it. You're in a fucking Olive Garden. It's just the two of you. There are thousands of people around you fucking eating. Pick up your phone, put it on speaker, and just be like, hey, this predatorial person wants to know if you know where I am. And then that person, if they do or do not, is gonna fucking play along. Like they should fucking know.
I will say is, in that situation, like, sure, that person may pick up, but what are the chances that they don't pick up? If they don't pick up,
Call a second person.
fucking table.
Keep going through. And then,
Go to
but
the
like
nearest
again,
crowd of people, like.
and then if you're surrounded by people, which you should be on a first date, then, and like Irina said, fucking shout it out. Be a badass bitch and be like, hey, everyone around me, this predatorial person wants to know who's fucking, you know, if somebody knows I'm fucking here. Guess what? All of you bitches know I was here. You saw me walk out and then fucking walk out. Like, be power and make sure the number one thing when you're a badass bitch, which you should be, if you're a badass bitch and you do something and you turn on the crazy, and you should be crazy enough to fucking do this shit. When you are looking that other person, you need to make sure that that other person, because, and this speaks to females, you need to make sure that if you are crazy enough to do that shit, which again, you should be, you also do need to continuously, until you get all the way fucking home, make sure that they're not armed, make sure that they're not following you. And honestly, at that point, you know, if that person asks you that question, you need to do one of two things. One, you need to call a friend to come get you. If you're not in a city like New York and you're driving around, make sure to just fucking keep driving around until, you know, you feel comfortable. 3, you can also drive to a police station and just be like, hey, this person, you know, you most likely have their you know, a Tinder profile, a contact, something. You can show them a picture, whatever. They may or may not do anything, and that's okay. You just want to know, you just want to let that person know, like, hey, I'm literally reporting you, you know, whatever. But be that badass person, you know, tell them, strut off, whatever. We're going to do one more thing. I think it's going to be super fun. I'm really excited. It actually, oh, shit. Sex on a first date. We can talk more about it in our sex episode, which I want to have a couple of. But
Sex on the first date, if you're serious about the man, don't do it.
And I agree. I hate to be that person, but
okay.
if you want to have sex, girl, hold the fuck out. And you're going to feel powerful and you're going to feel so good. Go. I'm so sorry. And this, listen, well, that's what I was about to say. This leads to a man and a woman. Listen, if you can hold it out, which you can, you have enough self-control to do it.
Everyone has enough.
But I hate to say this.
Everyone, including men, have enough self-control. Do not, the whole bullshit of boys will be boys. No, that's not okay. Boys do have the ability to
very lack of bad, for very lack of for lack of better words, you can hold it out, go the fuck home, beat one out,
And if you
and
can't,
go to bed.
masturbate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Masturbate,
Hold
and including
out,
women. If
fucking
you can't feel
masturbate.
like you can hold it out, fucking go home and masturbate. This
Because
includes
guess
gays,
what? Women
gays,
get blue
the fucking
balls too.
yes,
Women,
absolutely.
it's called
1,000%.
blue clit.
Yes. So
It's a thing.
yes, hold
Research
out.
it. Look it
Listen,
up.
I know they're hot. The person that you were probably going to, go on a date with, you want to be with them. Everyone wants to be with that person across the fucking table. You need to go home. They might find sex that night with somebody else, but guess what? You're gonna end up with them in the long run, and you are going to have the best sex of your fucking life when you eventually decide that you should do it. And
Exactly.
it's even okay with the second date. If it's really important to you, hold out even longer. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting, and you're like, and even better, it is hot as fuck. If you can hold out, but do everything progressively on a first date. Fucking kiss them on the fucking cheek and walk the fuck out. On the second
Or
date,
don't kiss them at all.
yeah. On the second date, give them a peck on the mouth. On the third date, fucking make out with them. Maybe put your hand between their thighs. On the fourth date, then you kind of like go up their shirt with your hand. Consent wise, of course, always fucking important, no matter what date it is.
Ask for consent.
Always. And you can put your hand on their hip and you can be like, is this okay? And then you can just kind of slowly go up there, and then go
because
up.
a person will always let you know, hopefully.
Yes, you should. Please be powerful enough to tell somebody no.
Feel comfortable.
Yes. But progressive sexual contact, incredible. So I do kind of agree, sex on a first date, if you want to do it, it's probably not going to continue after that. So
that's more like, sex on the first date, like, it's okay to do it. It's not the worst thing.
You want to marry Chris Evans, so make sure that you're not having sex with Chris Evans on the first fucking date, please.
So like, hold it out a little bit. Like, you want to show that there's more to offer than just sex.
What did you want to say?
Oh, so I was going to say, on top of that whole thing, consent can be taken away at any time.
Yes.
If somebody says no, you immediately stop.
Yeah, which we'll get into consent in our sex episode, but it is very important to note at all times. Consent is important at every single second of every moment.
And I want to
before, during, after sex. It doesn't even have to be sex. It could be kissing, whatever. Also, I do want to say something though. Please, consent is important. I don't want to be a hypocrite. However, it is very hot to be bold. If you want to make a first move, fucking go for it. If they don't want you to kiss them, they will push you away, hopefully, or as you're going in, you can gauge whether they want to kiss you back or not.
Exactly. And sometimes some people will not say yes. And that without them saying yes, like it is important to consider that if they did not say yes, that's still not consent.
Yes, correct.
So like another thing to consider is like if someone's not responding, if they're too nervous or if they're too like.
Silence is a no, unless it's a yes.
But another thing to consider too is body language. Like if someone doesn't say yes or no, which they really should say yes or no, like you have to be confident in those kinds of things, because if you don't say yes, that's still not consent.
Also, by the way,
but there are people like they may be like, I want to do it, but like I don't want to say, I don't want to seem eager. Again, body language is really important, but do not ever use body language as an excuse.
And it's not a drunken yes. It's never a drunken yes. I don't care how.
They have to say yes. If they are drunk, consent is yes. There's no answer, and there's no no, you don't.
And honestly, that's the best time to hold out. If they're drunk and they say yes, even then, if they want to make out and you can give them that and they're okay with it, fucking make out, but then go home.
Well, if they say yes when they're drunk, I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, but they have to keep constantly saying yes. Once that dick is inside of you, they have to keep giving you the yes. It should never be, and if they want to stop at any time, they're allowed to stop anytime. Okay, I want to get to this test. This test is thanks to Whitney Cummings in her book. I'm pretty sure it's from her 2017 book. I'm Fine and Other Lies is what the book title is called. We're going to go through the list. It is an important list to do separately. We're going to do it all together, just as fun. But please, while you are listening, take notes. If you like what we say, put that down. If you think of something else, put that down. You need to make this list. Now, there are 2 lists. We're not going to do the second one today. We're going to hold it out for the sex episode. There is a power and manifestation of what you specifically want about that person. Physically wise, that wise, blue eyes, fucking blonde hair, if that's what you want. That's another list. We're going to get into that list, like I said, in the sex episode. This list includes 3 things: your wants, your would be nice, and your red flags. But your wants, we're going to go over your wants first, your non-negotiables. What do they need? You guys can just spout it out. So whatever you think, I'm just going to write it. You don't have to go super into detail. Just go for it. I'm going to say, and we've talked about this a million times, and I'm writing this down: good conversation. If they can't hold a fucking conversation, you might as well not.
Agreed. Agreed. They have to hold a good conversation for me. Also, for me, they have to have some sort of level of intelligence. I'm sorry, but if someone cannot explain their process of thinking and their beliefs, that's a no-go for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go with ambition as my second one, just because if you have no drive to do anything,
Agreed.
I'm not coming home. Listen, you want to play Fortnite? Play Fortnite. Do it. Fucking do it. But if you're going to sit here 24 hours of every fucking day
Playing
Fortnite with the bros, then I'm not fucking coming over.
I'm not going to support our whole
bitch. If you're playing Fortnite, I'm not coming over. And guess what? You ain't coming either. So just keep that in mind. Thanks. Faith, you looked like you had one.
Sense of humor is a big one. Don't be a brick wall.
Yeah, I love funny guys. Funny guys are amazing.
Talked about it already. Incredible interaction with others, whether that be customers or customer service representatives.
For me, as a woman, respect for women, because you can tell a lot from a man based on the way he treats his mother and his sisters.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That actually brings me to a really fast point. It is not, or it is very okay to bring up, again, you have to grasp the conversation, whether this is where the conversation is going or not. Don't just randomly bring up yeah, I hate my mother. But if you don't like your mother, don't say you like your mother and you don't like your mother. Fucking it's okay to talk about your family struggles on a first date, but again, gauge the conversation. And if it gets that deep, bring it back up sometimes. Make it crack a joke. Grab that sense of humor, whatever.
The one thing I say is, based on you saying that you hate your mother, it doesn't define actually, there are some, not all mothers are good. Not all mothers are great. There are some abusive women out there, so you just saying that I didn't get along with my mother doesn't determine the factor of you being a good person or a bad person. It's just a lot of times, based on the way a woman visually sees you treat your mother and your sister, can sometimes help determine whether they see you as a good person or a bad person. Again, if your mother is abusive or if your mother hasn't treated you right, again, a woman should be able to or oftentimes will be able to pick up on that.
Wrote one.
Don't discredit the fact that you not liking your mother is a game. It's not necessarily a game changer. I'm just saying.
I wish I could say that. Yeah.
Probably bring that up because that's. Yeah.
I wish I could say that I've never been through this situation, but I have been more in this situation than I have not been in this fucking situation. But I wrote in my wants, has a car. And that means even maybe even has a decent amount of money to buy a car. By the way, you can buy a used car for $3,200, maybe even $2,800. I'm not saying you have to have a car, but the potential of buying a car, because if you live in New York City, you probably you shouldn't have a car. But in most circumstances, in most places, if you don't have a car, I'm not fucking picking you up every time. I'm sorry, I'm not driving to you. I'm not we're not doing this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. No. And if you don't have the money in your bank account to buy a car, if you don't have a car, like that's a game changer too.
Right.
Like
Any other ones?
you're not spending your money wisely there, and that works.
Oh no, I like that one in general. Financially smart. At least for me, I need you to be able to save, but also if you like to spend, go ahead. Just have a healthy relationship with.
Yeah, it's okay to spend money. It's totally fine to do that. Like sometimes I go out and spend money, like but there's a specific way to do that, and you should always have some sort of a budget. Like I'm always budgeting all the time.
I would add attraction. I understand personality is a big part of it.
Well, no, but that goes
also a big part of it.
That goes on the sex list. But by the way, if you're dumb enough to go, unless of course, if there's a catfish out there, there's a catfish. But you shouldn't be going on a date. You shouldn't be attractive. And me and Irina talked about this already before. You shouldn't be matching with anybody on any fucking dating app if you do not
find them attractive.
If you don't find them attractive, or if you're not gonna fucking talk to them, which kind of equates to each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no point in matching with somebody if you match with them and you're like, oh, they're not really attractive.
Yeah.
Swipe on them.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't waste their time, and don't waste your time. That's a waste of everybody's time.
So I have another one. Confidence / doesn't say sorry a lot. I want you to feel confident in yourself. I don't want you to say sorry when it's not your fucking fault. I've met a couple people that will literally apologize for doing or saying anything. Like if you interrupt someone and you say sorry, sure, that can be great the first time, but the 10th time you interrupt someone and you're like, sorry, one, you're not changing, and two, it's fucking annoying. And honestly, like if you interrupt me, listen, a good sign of a fucking date, I know this is going to sound crazy. A good sign for a fucking date is if you guys are so eager to fucking talk to each other that you interrupt each other, fucking do it. And that's a huge plus. Like you guys are so eager and have so much to talk about. You're bursting at the seams to say the next thing. That's fucking okay. But like have enough confidence and whatnot to try not to say sorry and just feel loving yourself. RuPaul said it. You can't fucking get rid of it. You can't love anybody else if you can't love yourself first.
I mean, I went, as these two know, I went on a date that was not great, but he kept apologizing literally about everything, and it was just like, you don't have to apologize for saying where you're from or whatnot, or like we were having a good conversation and then he butts in and he's like, sorry, am I talking too much? No, I would have told you, like, we can bring the conversation in, but if you're apologizing about the littlest things every 5 seconds, I'm gonna, like, my engagement is gonna slowly just fade away.
I'm gonna float to the next category, but I'm gonna say one more. Unless you guys have other ones, you let me know really fast. The last one kind of goes back to intelligent in a way, like it kind of falls under that category. And another word for it could be not afraid of real talk. But for me being gay, not scared of your emotions. The real talk. Please don't be afraid to get to the real shit. Please don't get afraid to be passionate. Please don't get afraid that your voice is going too high because you're excited about talking about a subject. That's another actually, we'll just write down that in red flags and we'll get to it, but I'm going to write down the opposite sort of that down at the red flags, but we'll get to that.
And here's something that I'm going to bring up because I think it's really important, and I think a lot of women feel the same way. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why women have a lot of gay friends. And the one thing that I have found throughout my life is I have fallen for a lot of gay guys. And you guys,
emotional.
But I have, and I've had friends who have pointed out, no, honey, that guy's gay. And my gaydar was off for a little while, but it
Oh,
finally.
hell yeah, it was.
I finally like figured it out. Like now I'm able to distinguish. But my issue is I'm very attracted to guys who are very in touch with their feminine side.
Yeah.
And I hate the word feminine side because it's like it just means that you're emotional and you're willing to express that emotion, and there's nothing wrong with being emotional and expressing your feelings. I love it when a guy can do that, because when a guy can do that, it shows them as a real human being. Like, to express emotion means that you are a human, and to suppress those emotions like often alienates you, or like makes you look like a robot. And I don't want to be dating a robot.
Yes. Okay. Next category would be nices. I don't know if you guys have any on your quick brain. I said would be nice. Listen, we can't all have it. I might have it, but we can't all have it. Especially at my age. If you don't have it, it's fine, but it's a would be nice. If you have your own apartment, I would love that. It'd be great. If you don't, it's not a deal breaker, but it would be nice if you have your own place. If I have my own place, you know, we can always go back to my place. That's fine. I would just, you know, quality time with a person is great. That's my love language, which I kind of want to do another episode on that. But my quality time, you know, is great. So your own apartment is great. Anyways, I digress.
I agree.
Yeah. Would be nice. Dress is nice. You don't have, listen, you don't have to.
No, I'm sorry, but for a guy, for me, like, I want them to dress nice. I want them to be.
I like the hot. I hate to, again, I really hate to use these words, but the hot masculine side, listen, if you look hot in a fucking backwards cab, we'll vibe. We'll vibe. We'll get there.
I'm not a backwards cab gal, but I
like if you dress like that all the time, no thank you. Like, I want you to show up in a fucking Ryan Gosling brown suit and look like you came out of La La Land, please.
Please, yeah, me too.
Do you guys have other would-be nices?
Would be nice.
No, would be nice. A nice credit score. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Or knowing that I do not have to necessarily deal with someone who doesn't know how to deal with money.
Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. I have another want. Really fast. Bitch, I will walk out. I will sprint out. I will slap you in the goddamn face if you shoot up on a date smelling anything that isn't fucking cologne / deodorant, both, one or the other. If you come up to my date smelling like you came from the fucking gym, I will run faster than you just ran in the fucking gym. I'm not dealing with your badass BO. I'm not doing it. To those men out there who like to say, it's my natural smell, you can take it to somebody else's bed. I'm not fucking doing it.
Sorry for me. You're like, armpit smell? No, not attractive.
And it's, I'm sorry, but hygiene in general. If you can't fucking brush your fucking teeth, if you can't floss, bitch, we ain't vibing. Listen, if you ain't flossing your teeth, you will not be flossing that dick in my ass. I'm sorry. It will not be happening. Floss, deodorant, cologne, fucking
brush your teeth.
Oh my God.
Listen, Matthew and I almost died on the side of a mountain, and we still had time to take a shower before we went to an event. Yes. And if that ain't dedication, I don't know what is.
I have a would be nice, but it's not a solid, and I've thought about this plenty of fucking times. Nice hair. And I want to explain that. Hold on, but that's why I have to explain it. It would be nice. There are some very hot. It makes me sound like I like I like older people, but like old people.
What's the guy's name?
Excuse me. There are hot bald men out there.
Hold on, I'm gonna look him up.
So if you're bold and you're hot, great for you. Like, we're still gonna vibe. But nice hair would be nice. I like to touch a nice head of hair. So it would be nice. I'm just gonna put this one out there. If you guys want to agree with me or not, That's okay. You don't have to.
Mhm.
I know it's very specific.
Rick Ford. Rick Ford is his name.
Rick Ford. Love that.
Rick Ford.
Oh, Rick. Sorry.
Yeah, Rick Ford.
My bad.
Oh wait, no.
Same topic. So would be nice. I would probably say, I was gonna say 5, but I wrote 6. Like a 6 to 7 inch penis, like somewhere in between. If we're gonna listen, we're not talking about a sexual
Would be nice.
twist.
Yeah,
This is a we're probably maybe gonna get married someday, and I need something that's gonna fit and feel great for both of us. So like a 6 to 7 incher is like the perfect range. Like we're solid.
Actually, no. For me, it would be like 5 to 5 to 7.
Okay, that's what I said. I was gonna say 5 to 7. But if you're gonna be a 5er, maybe a little bit more girth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm kidding. Don't do the 6 to 9. Scratch that. It's the 5 to 7.
Listen, hung is for horses. Hung is for horses. If you're hung, go to the hay because
Okay.
well, I'm not here for it. Just kidding. Listen, I'll write it all night long, but it might not all fit. Anyways, I digress. Any other would be nices from you guys?
No beard.
I actually
What?
love-
Wait, mine is wait. My would be nice is 5 o'clock shadow. I love 5
o'clock
I
shadow.
don't know why. I'm so attracted to men with 5 o'clock shadows.
So
Yo.
attractive. And then when they're no, I'm not gonna.
I don't like. Well, it's interesting because some guys look good with no facial hair, but some guys have like baby faces with no facial hair. I like Matthew. I like your type of beard.
Yeah.
But if you have like a full, big beard, it's for me. Unfortunately, I'm not attracted to that.
I'm gonna say something that's
Too long for me. If it's like this long.
No, I mean if you fucking look like Gandalf, I'm walking out. Like, I have 2 more.
It's not Dumbledore, so
I'm gonna breeze over this one just because. Would be nice. Definitely. Oh, by the way, the financially smart thing in the ones also includes a fucking job of any sort. It doesn't have to be a career, but you just have to be earning some sort of money, which under the would be nice is money.
No, that's a necessity for me.
Not a lot of money, but like money would be nice. Like somewhere in between, like we're both sharing the meals at, whatever. This one's hot as fuck. To me, I love this. It's a would be nice. It's not a necessity, but it would be fucking fantastic. And it's always a skill you can learn if you don't know how right now. It would be great if you knew how to fucking cook. I love a man who can fucking cook. Period.
That's true. I know how to cook, so I'd love a man if he knew how to cook too.
Yeah, I would love that. Any other would be nices? I have stupid ones like favorite movie genre romantic comedy, but like that's just stupid.
Would be nice if like you're a millionaire or a billionaire and could just take care of me the rest of my life. Like, I mean, if you got that money and you want to spend it on me, be my guest. But that's like a fantasy one. Fantasy would be nice.
Oh, I have a gay one. It would be really nice if that other person not only dresses nice, but has plenty of hoodies that I can steal because I think it's the cutest fucking thing in the entire world. Well, I guess it's not just a gay one. I mean, women.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not very like.
But I want that in my life so bad.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any others that you guys can think of?
No, I have others, I'm sure, but not at the top of my head at the moment. So.
Okay, and kind of any of the opposites of these would be red flags. Let's just talk about some red flags really fast. So my number one that I was hinting at before, listen, I hate to say it. I hate to be this person. I love a good, because I'm like in between. I can be feminine, I can be masculine, and I hate to use those words. But again, I love a good masculine man. The reason I am saying that is because we hinted at being kind to females, which also includes a gay relationship. Because if they're not kind of females,
masculine man.
Well, no. Here we are. Gay men can also be misogynistic. Wow, who fucking knew?
Who knew?
Who fucking knew? So if you hint at any kind of sort of fucking toxic masculinity, you are not the one. And that can include masculine men who discriminate against, like in my world, you know, of course, a lot of masculine men discriminate against feminine men. It's like, if you do that shit, cutting it out. You know, if you're disrespectful to women, cutting it out. If you're disrespectful to any other community, the Black Lives Matter, protecting Asian lives, I don't know why I'm saying, or like organizations and whatever, but those groups, yeah, we're walking out. If you have any sort of toxic masculinity, I'm not fucking dealing with it. You need to fucking grow up and try again.
I have one that's sort of related.
Okay.
Telling a woman what to do. Don't ever fucking tell a woman what to.
Mansplaining.
That's such a that's a pet of mine. Like if I'm going out and I want to have fun with my girlfriends, don't tell me how I should go out looking. Don't tell me how.
Unless you ask. I mean, if a girl fucking asks you, like, do I look good in this dress? She asked for your honest opinion. I know that sometimes
I mean, you can give your honest opinion, but if a girl does not ask you for that opinion, or doesn't ask you how many drinks she's allowed to like how many drinks she should drink, do not fucking tell her how she should go out with her girlfriends.
I agree.
Like a man should never tell a woman what she should be doing. They should never be like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, it's, like, this is her body. It's her decision. She's, like, it's kind of, don't tell a woman what to do.
Yeah. I wrote some of the opposites, bad hygiene. I said rude, but also like, we talked about before, like, don't ever say sorry, for something that's not your fault, or even something that's minuscule as fucking interrupting. Like, I know some people really care, but
that's the thing. I make that mistake too. Like, for example, someone asked to kiss me recently, and he asked, which was a really good thing. Like that right there, I was impressed, and he's such a good guy. He asked, and I was like, no, I'm really sorry. And he's like, why are you apologizing? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, it's okay, we can just be friends. And I'm like, that's the first time I've ever heard a guy tell me that.
Yeah. But like constant interruption, I don't like I don't mind constant interruption, but it has to be in the eager way, not in the fucking like, I'm gonna just like
mansplaining way. Yeah, not the man.
Yeah. No. This is more of a street thing, especially it's more for kind of women. But I'm just putting this one in here because it's not cute. Hey mama, what's up? Like catcalling anybody, whistling, fucking like, hey girl, what's up? Or like, whatever. Oh my God. Okay. This one's for me. If you want to be friend zoned more than anything, and I think this can happen to men and women, but it happens to gay people all the time. It happens to me fucking every day. If it's not a joke, if I don't fucking know you, like if it's the 5th date and you do it jokingly once, I'm going to be okay. Except there's one word that I don't like. If you call me bro, I'm going to punch you. I'm going to sucker fuck the punch out of that was backwards, but I'm going to sucker punch the fuck out of you. If you call me buddy, I'm walking out. I don't like buddy. I don't like kid. You're treating me like I'm a child. I'm not playing with that. You are what's the word?
I know what you're saying. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
You guys understand.
You're diminishing the person.
If you're doing it in a cute way, like, okay, I know this is a very weird example, but it just popped into my head. I'm thinking of a lot of things right now. If we go back to my apartment and we're standing outside the door and I open the door, and I don't know why this is the only circumstance I can think of. You push me in, I push you against the door, and then you literally come out and you're like, "What's up, bro?" Like in a better voice than that. Then that's fucking cute. Like that's adorable, and I'm gonna want to kiss you more. I get it. That's adorable. It's kind of fucking hot. Again, if you call me "What's up, buddy," it's not happening. Like you're leaving my immediately. But if you're like, "What's up, bro?"
Buddy is literally for friendship.
Yeah.
Nobody's buddy when you're like about to have sex.
Yeah, but like, what's up, bro? Like, is a funny kind of fucking thing. It's like kind of funny and fucking cute, whatever. But like, if it's like we're sitting at dinner and you're calling me bro, like it's not happening. Like I'm walking out. But that was just another one. Any other just like quick?
For me, it's like baby, I hate being called baby. Do I look like a baby to you? No. So don't call me.
See, to you, cool. To me, baby. And they're two different
I
words,
hate
but
it.
I'd
It's
like both.
demeaning. It's
Baby,
diminishing to
if
me.
you want to call me babe, it's just so sexy.
Babe is a little bit
Well,
more.
no, that's what I'm saying.
acceptable.
Baby and baby are two different words, but I'm just saying, like, I like to be called baby, like that's fine. But like whenever I say it, just sounds stupid. You know, it's gonna come out in a hotter, sexier way. But
it is different because I think there's a different connotation behind.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Or lesbian people saying it versus
probably. What's up, baby?
But for me, it's like it's very diminishing. It's because I've had like guys call me baby, and then they're like, "Oh, you can't take care of yourself," and I'm like, "Excuse me, where did you come from?" Like,
do you guys have any? Yeah, do you guys have any other red flags that you guys can think of? And, you know, and I feel like there's so many obvious ones.
Yeah, there's the red flag that I when you tell a guy that you're not interested, but you're willing. Like, for example, I did this. I went to bachata for the longest time, and this guy asked for my number because we danced together and it was super fun. He was really good and he taught me a lot of amazing dance moves.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, here's the deal.
Ooh, a nice dancer would be nice. I would love that.
Exactly. Me too.
Some rhythm. God damn, if you don't got rhythm, oh
I love rhythm. But that's the thing. I was like, here's that, because my sister's like, be nice, like give him your number. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll give him my number. And so I went to him. I'm like, here's the deal. I am not interested in dating you. I am not interested in any sort of future relationship. I am, however, interested in keeping you as a dance partner. And I will give you my number, but there will be no chatting over the phone. There'll be no texting. This is exclusively to find out when you're coming to bachata and to meet up for dancing. Only dancing. And I made that very, very clear from the beginning. And I actually reminded him throughout our dance relationship, because it's not really a relationship, but throughout our dancing, because oftentimes he would sometimes he would overstep, and I'd be like, hey, just a gentle reminder, like, not into it. However, he took it a step farther. One night he ended up biting my ear, which actually ended up really hurting. Gross. He bit it too hard, and I ended up being like, okay, so I need to go find my friends. And then I ignored him one night because I brought one of my gay friends and I ignored him because I felt very uncomfortable around him. And then he ended up yelling at me on the dance floor, and I never talked to him again.
I have one more that I just thought of that you brought up. And it kind of goes with the like being rude to other people and to each other. Because I like this one. By the way, these are like first date things, but also this one's kind of closer to more of like a fourth or fifth date. When you guys are introducing each other to each other's fucking friends, listen, you could tell a person by their friends, it's true. But if you disrespect their, like, my friends or whatever, it's not happening. Like, it's not gonna work out or whatever.
Oh yeah, if you disrespect my friends, I have good quality friends. If you disrespect my friends, it's not happening.
Yeah. Okay. Any other red flags?
Not that I can think of. I mean, there's plenty of red flags, but not.
Yeah. Oh, I had one more thing I was gonna say. Oh no, it had something to do with time. Oh, this is my last thought before we end it. Maximum time you should be waiting, 15 minutes. I told Irina this before. 15 minutes is perfect. I like to gauge like the hour on the hour. And that is if they don't like message you at all. Like if it's, you shouldn't be.
If they don't message you, you should not wait any more than 10 minutes.
I said 15. I like the hour. Like if
20
you
minutes
arrive.
is too long.
But but if you arrive at like 5:45, I don't know why, but 6 o'clock is like a good even number. I like it. It's perfect, whatever. But again, with good communication, they should be messaging you that they're going to be late at some point. They should be calling you if they're going to be late. Also, you have two choices then. You can either A, get up, walk out, or leave, or you can be a bad bitch and you can stay at wherever you fucking are and eat at the fucking restaurant that you're at. Whatever you choose, it's whatever your option. That's up to you. But just know 15 minutes is the deeper conversations limit of how long you should be fucking waiting. Any longer than that, without communication, you should be leaving. That will wrap it up. You guys have any other last minute thoughts or nope? Okay. We will be back. We're gonna talk about all things love languages, sex. We're gonna get deep about all of these topics. If anybody has a topic that they want us to talk about, my Instagram DMs are open, my YouTube comments are open. Speaking of, in the description will be Faith's YouTube channel and other links. And Irina's Instagram will be linked down below, as well as her modeling pages. Any other things you guys want to bring up or no? Nope. We're all set. Okay. Well, I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming on and being here with me today, and getting a fun conversation about first dates. If you guys want us to talk about more, or you guys have your own thoughts or whatnot, again, Instagram DMs are open. You can find me on TikTok, YouTube comments, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but Twitter is fine. Anywhere. I love
Twitter.
Yeah,
They
I know.
probably won't find me.
But I love you guys, and thank you guys for being here, and thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week with another episode of Deeper Conversations. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are.